The radio's glow slowly fades. The control room falls silent. For several long seconds, no one moves. Dust drifts lazily through the faint green light of the old signal monitors. Lyra stares at the radio on the metal table as if it might speak again. "Did you hear that?" Riven doesn't answer. His eyes remain fixed on the device. The voice had been clear, not distorted, not broken, clear, and it had spoken his name. Lyra slowly reaches toward the signal analyzer beside the table. The waveform still pulses faintly across the screen, but something about it feels different. "It changed," she murmurs. Riven finally looks up. "What changed?" Lyra zooms in on the signal pattern. The waveform stretches across the display in repeating intervals. "It's stabilizing." Riven steps closer. For years, the signal was just noise, random interference. Lyra shakes her head. Not anymore. She overlays a digital grid across the waveform. The pattern becomes obvious, repeating over and over again, like a heartbeat, slow, precise, intentional. "This isn't interference," she says quietly. Riven's voice drops. "Then what is it?" Lyra hesitates. Then she says the word neither of them wanted to admit. "A transmission." The word hangs in the air. Someone, somewhere, is sending it, and somehow it knows Riven exists. Riven slowly picks up the radio. The cold metal casing feels heavier than it should. "For years," he says quietly, "I searched for the signal." Lyra watches him carefully, and now it's finally answering. Before she can respond, a loud metallic crash echoes somewhere deeper in the building. Both of them freeze. The sound reverberates through the abandoned facility. Lyra instantly shuts off the desk lamp beside her. The control room plunges into darkness. Only the faint glow of the monitor remains. Riven slowly reaches for the weapon strapped across his back. Another sound echoes down the corridor. Footsteps, heavy, slow. Someone is inside the facility. The footsteps stop just outside the control room. A tall shadow stretches across the doorway. Then a deep voice speaks. "You two should step away from that radio." A man steps into the room, tall, broad-shouldered, covered in worn survivor armor. A rifle hangs across his back. His eyes move quickly between Riven, Lyra, and the glowing radio. Lyra breaks the silence. "Who are you?" The man studies them for a moment before answering. "Torin." His gaze returns to the radio. "And if you're smart, you'll stop chasing that signal." Riven doesn't move. Torin steps closer to the table. "I've seen what happens to people who listen to it." Lyra folds her arms. "And what exactly happens?" Torin's expression darkens. "They disappear." The room grows quiet. Riven slowly sets the radio back on the table. "You think the signal is killing people?" Torin shakes his head. "No." His voice becomes colder. "I think it's taking them." Lyra frowns. "Taking them where?" Torin doesn't answer immediately. Instead, he walks toward the broken window and looks out across the ruined city. "A year ago," he finally says, "I traveled with a group of survivors. There were 8 of us. One night, one of them heard the signal." Lyra glances toward the radio. "He said the voice was guiding him." Torin's voice tightens. He believed it was a message. "What happened to him?" Riven asks. Torin looks back at them. "He followed it." Lyra leans forward. "And?" Torin's voice drops. 3 days later, the rest of us heard the signal too." The room grows still. "It called his name," Torin says quietly, "just like it called yours." Riven's eyes narrow. "What happened after that?" Torin looks down. "We woke up the next morning, and the entire camp was empty." Lyra whispers, "Empty?" No footprints, no signs of a fight, just radios still playing. Before anyone can respond, the radio suddenly crackles again. Static bursts through the speaker. The signal monitor spikes wildly. Lyra rushes to the console. "It's active again!" The static fades quickly, and the voice returns. Clear, cold, calm. "North."
The word echoes through the room. Then the signal disappears. The radio falls silent again. Lyra stares at the monitor. That's it? Torin looks uneasy. Riven walks slowly toward the broken window. North. Whatever is sending this signal just gave them a direction. But before anyone can speak, a faint metallic sound echoes above them. All three look up. A shadow moves across the upper walkway. Torin instantly raises his rifle. Show yourself. For a moment, nothing happens. Then a figure drops lightly from the second level, landing silently on the floor. A young woman steps forward from the shadows. A compact crossbow rests across her back. Her eyes move carefully between the three of them. You shouldn't trust that signal. Lyra frowns. And who are you? The woman studies them for a moment before answering. Kaida. Torin narrows his eyes. You've been listening. Kaida nods. Long enough. Her gaze shifts toward the radio, and long enough to know that following that signal is how people disappear. Riven watches her carefully. You've heard it before. Kaida doesn't answer immediately. Instead, she walks toward the broken window and looks north. Yes. Her voice grows quiet. And if it told you to go north, then something up there is waiting. The wind moves through the broken building. The four survivors stand in silence. Riven finally speaks. Then that's where we're going. Torin shakes his head. You're walking straight into the same trap my friend did. Riven's voice is calm. Maybe. He looks down at the radio. But this time, the signal is expecting me. Outside the ruined facility, far beyond the northern horizon, a massive buried structure slowly powers on. Ancient machines awaken. Lights flicker to life, and somewhere deep inside the darkness, a mechanical voice speaks again. Subject confirmed.